Grand rising, everyone, or evening. It is after midnight. It is 0 hour and 45 minutes. I suppose technically in the evening, Central Standard Time here in the United States. And oh my, do we have a whole lot to talk about here tonight. This is initially a live stream recording that is posted to my YouTube channel on another note. So, where do we begin? My oh my. So, on the 59th day of 2026, Israel and the U.S. attacked Iran. The initial attacks against Iran began. We're now, I believe, on the 60th day of 2026, likely the second day of the total kinetic phase of World War III. This is all happening now. I knew it would happen for years. I've been warning so many about it. This very time we are in now. This very war, more accurately. Israel and the U.S. started targeting many officials all throughout Iran the last day or so. I believe the number is over 40. The supreme leader in Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, has been assassinated by the U.S. and Iran. And then we have the news here to get through and talk about all sorts of different things to do with this war that we are all now in. This here from Terror Alarm. Less than 24 hours ago, right around that time, Israel closed Iranian airspace to Russian, Chinese, and Iranian aircraft. That is so Israel could get into their airspace and fight in the skies there and do the bombing, lots of bombings that they have been doing with missiles and aircraft. I believe it's mainly been aircraft with bombers. Israel tends to do those targeted airstrikes a lot. Then we had this official announcement from the President of the United States shortly after the war, the total kinetic phase of World War III began. In this very important video here, as many may have seen already, I will play it one time.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs, or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war, but we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Had my microphone off during that so it could be listened to, and I had to refill my water for this. That was really historic, very historic. Maybe the third time I've seen that now. Absolutely historic, very telling of the time that the war that we are now in. Straight from the President of the United States. He was speaking there, a speech to Iran and the people of this country, the United States. Really something there. Really something that has only been seen in, say, movies, for example. Um, this is just total history unfolding each moment now. Really something. Really a war we are in now. This guy, he's great. Nostra, House of Gold. Really, really great account. Once again, as I said here, this is the first 24 hours still. There'll be sleeper cell activations, cyber attacks that may even take out the entire power grid here in the United States and other places as well when they decide to do so, especially Israel. And possible missile strikes. That's just from Iran. much more intense when it comes to Russia and China. Iran by itself can take out the power grid and cause massive damage to critical infrastructure, the internet use itself in this country. They have the capability of wiping out the US power grid through targeted strikes, through cyber attacks. Iran has one of the most powerful cyber warfare forces in the world. Iran and the East are not to be underestimated. So many people do. They're absolutely not to be underestimated. And I'll point out once again Iran is allies with Russia and China. Russia and China will soon get just as involved as Iran is in this war. They cannot lose Iran, its land, where it is. They rely quite heavily on the resources there in Iran and the strategic positioning there in Iran. So, Russia and China, especially China, is more openly willing to get involved already. And we are maybe 24 hours into this. We are approaching that mark. And then we have this here from Visegrad 24. Iran's navy, they started blocking. Yes, they have actually fully blocked now the Strait of Hormuz. Here's an audio from an Iranian making the announcement to naval vessels nearby. Real audio from them.
Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. From now on, all navigating through the Strait of Hormuz is forbidden. No ship in every type is not allowed to pass from the Strait of Hormuz till next notice. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy. From now on, all navigating through the Strait of Hormuz is forbidden. No ship in every type is not allowed to pass from the Strait of Hormuz till next notice.
That was from the IRGC Navy announcing to all vessels near the Strait of Hormuz that none of them are going to be passing through it until further notice. There was earlier a direct hit on an oil facility in Saudi Arabia, which will also massively increase the price of oil and gas all throughout the world. Over 20% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. On top of that, we have this here, this direct hit on an oil facility in Saudi Arabia. But wait, this might have had some kind of verification, some kind of some context here, bunch of sources. Let me see a port. Could this be the port video? Let me see. Is this the water? We have water. Very low quality video. Lots of fog of war. Yeah, I think that's water there. This video could be the fire on that port of Hudaydah. Um, that was blown up a while back. July 20th, 2024. Okay, that's very helpful, yes. Moving on from that. Though we have this potential scenario still, this guy is not he doesn't specialize in like what I do. So he made a massive mistake there. What an embarrassing mistake on his part. Though we have that potential scenario where it's not even so much potential. Iran could start striking oil fields in, say, Saudi Arabia, um, the United Arab Emirates. They have been attacking places like Dubai, even, and Bahrain, that country nearby, and Qatar. So they've been attacking three. We're talking about multiple countries, um, the UAE, Qatar, and Bahrain, as well as Israel and U.S. bases. So, four countries and bases and things like that related to the United States. Massive war. That is what, even by itself, makes it World War III. We have several countries involved in this war. That is why this is the total direct kinetic phase of World War III. This here earlier, the FBI told Fox News counterterrorism and counterintelligence teams were on an elevated alert nationwide earlier, though more recently now it has been confirmed there are sleeper cell activations at this time. They are on a very high alert for that now. I believe I heard earlier that there are sleeper cell activations happening now throughout the United States. There are thousands of Iranian sleeper cells, which are people like agents of sorts to do with Iran. They're from Iran and other countries of their proxies here in the United States. There's potentially thousands of them, and they are being activated very soon, if not, they have already been, to target critical infrastructure all throughout the United States, uh, especially doing cyber attacks from within and direct kinetic attacks, likely on power infrastructure and other critical infrastructure throughout the United States. Really something. Really quite a war we are all in now. And this here, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. The Iranians are great at cyber attacks. This person is saying, yep, stock up, prepare. That's minimum. Those are minimum basics. He just listed there: food, water, ammo, cash, and gas. Those are the minimums, bare minimums to do. This is the very beginning of this whole situation, this whole war, this entire new direct total war kinetic phase of World War III. It is here, it is happening now. There is no denying it. It is happening right now. There's no going back to normal society after this, much like after the CV-19, as many know, that thing where people had to take tests to go even into places, um, and those jabs. Yeah, that after that, around that time, it's not going to go back to what it was like even before that. Everything has just escalated massively over time, one thing to the next. Crises after crisis. There are a lot of chaotic things happening all throughout the world, especially total war now in the Middle East. Once again, with the Strait of Hormuz, over 20% of the world's oil supply flows through there. Europe is going to be absolutely annihilated by that. The US is going to be hit very hard by that. The price of gas is going to fly up to levels not seen potentially because the Strait of Hormuz is closed and we don't have the infrastructure built in Venezuela yet to just take oil from there and bring it here. It may need to be processed a certain way. We will see if we could utilize that oil, though, very soon. If the U.S. can utilize that oil very soon and from Venezuela. President Trump went actually down to Corpus Christi, Texas, and met with the governor and some others there. There was a oil tanker that came up from Venezuela over there, and he was showing that. So very interesting. We have a very good possibility. I don't know about very good, though there's a possibility to use the oil from Venezuela. And that could really help massively in this war, having control of the world's largest oil reserve that's in Venezuela. Over the hours today, yesterday more accurately now, especially right now as I'm speaking, Israel is under attack by near constant missile barrages from Iran. Air raid sirens are blaring. All of those people that live there have been under massive missile attack from Iran. In Israel, even Dubai, Bahrain, Qatar. This is truly a total war, especially now after the Ayatollah Khamenei was assassinated. Everything goes far more intense than it was before that now. Far more. Iran will very likely increase the intensity of cyber attacks, activate all sleeper cells they have in the US and other countries. They will potentially even launch missiles at the United States itself. If they have the range to do so, they will do it. And they will even use a nuclear weapon on the United States if they have the range and ability to do so. Let's see. They will target, this is all off the top of my head, just thinking, they will also target most United States military bases, as they already have quite a few times. Where the 5th Naval Fleet left out of recently in Bahrain, Iran targeted that and destroyed it. American lives may have been lost in that bombing over there. We need to totally prepare even further for this total war kinetic phase of World War III. This is the very beginning of this total war kinetic phase of World War III. It is going to get far more intense as the hours even and days go on in this war. Especially next week coming up, technically this week, Russia and China will get involved more and more. And after that, even further involved. They are allies to Iran. Once again, they cannot lose the country Iran. Its geographical importance is too important to Russia and China and all of its resources. Both. I'm hearing recently that Iran may have developed a nuclear weapon and may use it on Israel. They may have more than one. They could launch at the US if they move it close enough, or they have the range to do it from there. We have potential nuclear war starting very soon. The nuclear war phase of World War III may be far closer than I even thought. It was surprising recently before the last video, around that time and just before it, very surprising. It was unexpected how quickly things moved in the nuclear war direction. So we are very likely headed for a at least tactical nuclear war, especially if Israel gets hit hard enough. It doesn't have to be nuclear. If Israel even gets hit hard enough and nearly wiped out through conventional means, the President of the United States has even said that he will retaliate in a way the world has not seen before. He will retaliate in a very hard way. That was on Truth Social, his platform, the president. That was the post he put up on there about what he will do if Israel gets hit hard enough. If they get hit in the way that Iran is saying they are going to be hit. It is likely happening even right now. Yes, it is happening right now. Let me see if I could get some. I need to get some cameras over Tel Aviv. Stand by, please. Let's see here. They might have taken down a lot of those cameras. I mean, really? They got Dubai Marina, the Western Wall, and Jerusalem, Temple Mount. I wonder if they took down the camera that shows Tel Aviv. It might just be the Western Wall. That's crazy stuff. I don't know how. 1 second, there's an ad. It's daytime over there in Tel Aviv. They're quite a few hours ahead. Not seeing anything on this camera, though. There are reports, especially from alert apps. There's an alert app. It's a weird name, like Zofar. Very weird name. There are reports of impacts on buildings in downtown Tel Aviv within the last 10 minutes. So, right now, Tel Aviv is being struck, the capital of Israel, by Iran. There are alarms and sirens sounding all across Israel. especially Jerusalem. Let's see. Also, there were rioters in Baghdad at one of the embassies in Baghdad, and it got violent enough. It escalated to the point where the U.S. Marines stationed at the consulate in might not be Baghdad. It's somewhere. It's in Pakistan. So the U.S. Marine station that are at the consulate in Pakistan, they opened fire on the rioters attacking the facility over there. So that's huge news right there too. And Israel's being attacked by missiles as I'm speaking now, and have been doing this video. Israel's been under a missile attack. The capital of Israel, Tel Aviv. So this is a lot going on. This is the total war kinetic phase of World War III. Get last preparations in order. Prepare to bug out if necessary, especially if you are in a major city. I highly recommend getting out of there as soon as possible. Staying in a major city is borderline S word behavior. Not a good idea to be in a major city. The price of gold is over $5,000 per ounce right now, as you could see here. $5,278. At one point it was 5,280. It's just going up and up. And then we have price of silver, $93. It's almost $100 per ounce again, the price of silver. Not an easy thing to get precious metals, these precious metals, gold and silver, these days. So we have a lot going on with this total World War III kinetic phase. It is going to massively escalate as the days and even hours go on now. This is not just events happening like they were before this war started. Now this is a total war that is going on. It is World War III. It is the largest war this world has seen since World War II. To put that into even better perspective, nothing small about this, and nothing about it will remain in the Middle East like it has with Ukraine in that situation. It is not like that. Iran has the potential to affect wherever they want to. They have the military power to do so. They have the cyber warfare capabilities to do so. Years ago, there was a simulation done by a general. I believe it was a few bunch of generals. They got together and they war gamed. The general that was playing as Iran in the war game, which is like they did some kind of simulated war gaming. I don't exactly know how they did it. That's what they call it. It's like a simulation of sorts. Anyway, the one who was using Iran in the war game, he won. So that goes to show how powerful Iran is. They have quite a divided country right now. Uh, Up to 80% of the people in Iran want the regime change, and they're rebelling against the terrorist regime in Iran. So That is another very beneficial thing to the West, that the people themselves have risen up in such a way and may take back the country themselves. They are rising up, though it may not be that high of a percentage of people that want that all to happen. There are a good amount of people that support the current Iranian regime. So Iran is likely going to have a civil war too, all the while they're at war with multiple countries. That this World War III is going on. So Iran could have a civil war going on at the same time. Um Iran is going to likely cyber attack and cause things to happen here in the United States, enough chaos, the same kind of chaos to level out the battlefield, the war situation. They need to have the US and Israel and those other countries in the same kind of chaos so they're not at such a disadvantage. That's what Iran is working on, I'm sure, right now to do. Iran is literally right now trying to destroy Israel. It is a matter of time, likely, that the air defenses in Israel fail. They'll just send lots of drones and weaker missiles at Israel, and then they'll use the big stuff, the big advanced weaponry, once their air defense is all depleted or easier to get through. They'll send in their more advanced, faster hypersonic missiles from Iran and strike even harder at Israel and the US bases nearby and all those other countries, Qatar, Bahrain, and the UAE. So I will be very closely monitoring this massive war, this World War III that is happening now. Keep on preparing. At least those very basics that were listed by this woman. Those are just the basics and the minimum requirements, I would say. That's for sure. You want to have far more than even that. Lots of preparedness items. Physical assets, I always recommend. I'll say it again this time. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice either. Though I recommend physical assets such as gold, silver, even land, ammunition, foods such as freeze dried foods and storable foods, and other physical assets in high, low, and medium tech solutions for this World War III situation this entire world is in now. I will be back soon with further updates, especially if potentially a nuclear weapon is detonated on or around Israel or Iran. I will be back soon nonetheless with further updates and another live stream recording here that is posted to the live section of my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, share to those you know who may need it, and subscribe if you will. There's even a donation link in the description of this live stream recording, as with all of them recently. Thanks for watching. What a time we are all in now. What a war. It's really something. Very concerning. Love, light, and blessings to you all. I will be back soon with further updates, another live stream recording that is posted to my YouTube channel.